Taurus. Welcome to your December tarot reading. It's Allie, your friendly mystic. If you're new or old here, it's great to share energy and space with you. It's a blessing to be able to have this time with you today. Now, if you're very familiar with tarot readings on YouTube or you're familiar with me as a tarot reader, you can skip to this timestamp here. There will likely be a link in the description or in a comment where you can just get right into the reading. But if you are new here, it might be helpful to go over some just general tips, tricks, things to keep in mind while you're getting your reading. But this reading is most broadly for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or any other particularly important Taurus placements you might have. So a Venus and Taurus placement would be a very potent placement to read for. So if you have Venus and Taurus, this could be a good Venus reading for you. You'll be able to, if you know some things about astrology, you may be able to pick other personal planets to read for. But if you're very green to astrology, Sun, Moon, and Rising is a great place to start. My readings are also timeless, so this isn't for the month of December. It's not about the month of December. It's just posted in the month of December. It's really just scheduling. It's just for me to be able to keep track of when I'm posting videos. So this is just when it's posted. If it's in the same timeline for you, then it's timely. But otherwise, if the title of the video is resonating for you, if that's what drew you in, not the month, then more likely than not, this reading will be for you. Now, my readings are also very general, so I can't possibly read for every single Capricorn, or not Capricorn, sorry, I just did Cap. I can't read for every single Taurus placement at once. It's just not possible. My readings would be so watered down, they'd be useless to everyone. This is going to be, I set the intention, as you'll hear me, when I start shuffling the cards, that these readings be for the people who need them most, for those who need them. So that's how I kind of set the intention. Also, I think it's important to acknowledge that my readings will reach the people who resonate with me. I think that you have to find a reader you're resonating with in order to really fully receive the messages they're channeling for you, because it's kind of a two-way street, you know. But also, last thing, I use feminine and masculine the words feminine and masculine to describe energy, not to describe gender or sex. So we all possess feminine and masculine energy in all of us. A lot of us are very masculine dominant because of how we've been raised. But I don't mean to use these words to denote a feminine energy person as a woman or a masculine energy person as a man. That's just how they're showing up in the reading, as a feminine energy or masculine energy. That means a feminine energy could be a man, a masculine energy could be a woman. I like to say, just as an example, I am a woman, but I am a very masculine energy woman. I think when you hear me talk, that comes across. I have a very masculine energy. But without further ado, we can get right into your tarot. To start with, I have a personal deck of Major Arcana, just the Major Arcana. It's custom. I made it myself by collaging out of a lot of Vogue magazines, some art magazines and stuff. But I use this deck as a way to tap into the overall energy of the spread, of the situation we're reading for, and as well as to kind of tap into any life lessons or soul lessons that may be coming up for you around the situation. So, source, spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, please help me to connect with the collective of Taurus and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Source, spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, please help me to connect with the collective of Taurus and communicate the messages in their highest good. Source, spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, please help me to connect with the spirit of the collective of Taurus and communicate the messages in their highest good. Okay, well that's spooky. I genuinely don't know how this happened, but I literally just pulled this card for Cap, and this was huge for the reading. So I think that maybe the earth signs are just going through something. But again, I think this is going to relate to the abundance, the feelings of abundance. For you, Taurus, this might be some turbulence around your financial matters. I'll just hold this up because it's, let you soak it in. But there's something that is unsteady or unstable about your earthly realm. It could also be lots of, I'm thinking of the Uranus and Taurus at the moment. So there might be some like highs and lows, lots of changing and lots of movement around something that was very fixed for you. This may not be the same as with Capricorn, where this was a lot of internal feelings of value and internal feelings of abundance and gratefulness, but lots of just turbulence around financial matters, personal, like personal belongings, even things that are just, it seems like things are just coming and going really fast. It's unusual. I don't usually get that for a Empress in reverse, but your world might be being flipped upside down, and there's something that was like Taurus, especially for you, and I things are very fixed and very like stable, but something that was very stable is now is kind of in question, and suddenly like, oh, is this something I can rely on? This could be a person that you thought was very reliable, and now suddenly they're not delivering the goods. They're not fulfilling their part of the bargain. So something is not working in relation to that. Now, we are going to switch the perspective so that you can see the tarot spread that I will pull for you, so that you can have a more intimate relationship with the cards. It's something I just started. I was kind of guided to do it, so you will see the cards in the spread and we will talk about them together. All right, Taurus, I have your decks picked out for you. So the main spread will be of the Gilded Tarot. And it was just interesting. We were just talking about like a big shift in finances, and I see the Two of Pentacles. So really, I feel like a vacillation almost, like a high and a low. That just happened to be on the bottom of the deck. And then for your oracle cards, I'll be pulling the from the Animal Medicine deck. So we have Dragonfly on the bottom. So this could be about giving away your power. We'll see. I just happened to see that, so that may or may not be applicable. So let's see here. So first card out is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like we're having to start from scratch. There's a feeling of like, everything that you had. I feel like there was a sense of being in this King of Pentacles position, but now you may be shifting your career. This may be very new for you. And it feels like we're feeling out of our element. And you out of an earth element, Taurus, is I feel like very unusual for you. You're not used to this, especially I feel like you've been in a certain career or a certain industry for a very long time, and now suddenly you are being asked to shift that and like start again. There's definitely a feeling of like, I don't know this, I don't know enough, I'm not going to be able to do this. I feel like your previous knowledge is holding you back from having beginner eyes, or the eyes of a beginner, maybe even the eyes of a child. So I feel like even though the page usually is very, I feel like the page is very optimistic and excited about what they're learning, you are not very much not like that. Wow, this filter makes my hands look even more beat up. Sorry about that. I just saw 222. That might be important for you. Important angel number for you, Taurus. Especially if that has anything to do with the Two of Cups, or Two of Pentacles I saw. Anything else for Taurus? I don't want those. Oof. Yeah, major loss. We were in this... Well, actually, interesting. So, it feels like the sense of defeat and now kind of this very discontent with what you have left. Almost like you're being given something new and you can't even bring yourself to feel anything about it. We may have felt really pushed out of something all of a sudden, and now we're really in this space of like spiritual discontent with this Four of Cups. I'll put those together. There's a feeling of emotional stuckness, like a sense of being this rut, depression. Because of a choice we had to make. We had these two, yeah, that back and forth, that Two of Pentacles, I think, was very much, we kind of came to this crossroad, and it's like, do we continue going down whatever career path we were going down before? But now we kind of came to this, almost like, I'm gonna have to pull more on the Five of Swords, because I can't tell. I get this feeling of being pushed out or being fought out, or some sort of altercation, or yeah, I guess just some sort of altercation that came to blows, and now you had to make a choice. Like you were on a path, and now there's a fork, and there had to be some fight, some sort of there was a big challenge. And I don't think you won. I can't really feel like you won. But we'll pull more on the Five of Swords and see. Actually, we'll pull more now. Can you tell me more about the Five of Swords? The Star. We need more. And then we got more. A lot more. The Hanging Man, the Ace of Swords, and the Hermit. Wow. Wow, that's big. Okay. I need a moment to take that in. But the Star coming out on its own... This could have been an internal struggle, especially when I see the Hermit here in reverse. There was this battle, like you had this... suddenly had to make a choice, and you had this fight in yourself, and there's a part of you that always lost. A part of you that no matter what choice you made, you felt like something was really lost. And now you kind of are being forced to be happy with something that you don't actually feel like you want. A part of you doesn't actually want. So it does, there is a sense of a hand being forced here. As opposed to you know, this was just every part of you was in alignment to make a choice, and I don't see that. I think there's a part of you that wonders if you made the right choice, even though it's funny because even though you had no choice, you're like, was it the right one? I think in some ways there was a stalemate. You were kind of in this stalemate. You were stuck. Again, the stuckness still. You were stuck in the middle of this, like, you were kind of stalling out at a crossroads, and it kind of forced a change regardless. So even though it wasn't like, I feel like some of the conflict that's coming up is that you didn't want to make a choice in the first place. And that's how you feel forced, is that you didn't want to have to choose, but suddenly now something is, something came up, and you didn't, it does feel like you didn't have enough time, or you didn't feel like you had enough time to really grasp what it was. And I just get a sense of really lost with the star in reverse, is that I'm very lost. I don't know if I made the correct evaluation. I feel like the Ace of Swords is saying that there was like a level of pragmatism that had to happen. But I get a sense of depression around the star and the hermit, even though logically, it's like logically this was the right choice. This Ace of Swords is telling me, like, logically there was really only one thing you could do. And it made the most sense, but there's still this very internal struggle around whether or not that was correct. Let's pull more cards. Three of Cups, upright. That's interesting, because there's lots of parallels between you and the Capricorn reading I just did. Between your reading and the Capricorn reading. But the Three of Cups at least comes up upright here. This may have been a decision that was for the greater good. You weren't the only person that this decision affected. Especially, so this could have been, you might be the breadwinner of a household, and whatever avenue your career was taking at the time suddenly dried up. And that makes a lot of sense, especially if you're finding this reading now, because of Corona, obviously. But so you basically had to make a shift for the people around you. In Taurus, you are an extremely reliable. You're very reliable. So it makes a lot of sense that you may feel like you had to sacrifice yourself. There's a sense of self-sacrifice in the Five of Swords. You had to sacrifice yourself and the thing you wanted for the people in your life, for your family. And the way they felt to make sure that their cup overfloweth, or had enough, really. But for ourselves, we feel there's a lot of internal conflict around it, because I think you really enjoyed what you were doing. You really enjoyed it. I think there was a sense of like the star and the hermit working together to try to find like an alternative. Like there has to be a way out of this. But it seemed like time was of the essence, and it pushed your hand. Or it forced your hand, rather. So I do think... Interesting. Okay, hold on. We'll figure it out. Wow, okay. We have almost all of the aces here. So I'm going to put these on top. We have the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and Temperance in reverse. So Temperance came up in reverse for Capricorn as well. I think there's definitely this feeling of like, oh, but was it the right way? Was it right? Was it wrong? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? I think that's part of where the vacillating was coming up for me earlier. And again, I think this Ace of Pentacles in reverse is feeling like having to start over from scratch, which is back to the Page of Pentacles from before. We're gonna, I don't know, we'll just leave it. I think it's okay. Let's get some sunlight, right, Cap? I mean, Taurus, sorry. But I see this Ace of Cups also is this just, there's like really a feeling of discontentment and like feeling really drained, empty from emotionally from this, especially with the Temperance, this card of like shifting between your cups back and forth, back and forth. But it just, to you, it's almost like I just dumped my cup out on the ground. I had something I was really happy with, this like. But then we have this Page of Wands. I feel like you were able to at least drum up the energy and the like drum up the energy and drum up the ability to be quick and shift. So even though you were dealing with all of this, the starting from scratch, the finances going into the gutter, or you know, whatever your venue, whatever it was that brought you pentacles before, it was no longer working. You made you took, how do I say this? You were able to shift quickly and flexibly, the way I would expect of Page of Wands too. I just heard fire under your ass. Yeah. Which honestly, I think for you is an accomplishment in and of itself. It's very difficult for a fixed sign to suddenly be very quick to shift and change. Let's see. I'm like trying to figure out how to like put all these in view and start making some different. Okay, so we have the 1 and the 3 over here. So we have the Ace of Cups here with the 3 of Cups. And I feel like for you, this is like, this Ace is this new offering here. And you're just not happy with this. This isn't, right now, it doesn't feel like this is what's supposed to bring you happiness. Because you were very content as you were. Like, and now the star in the center is just this sense of like overarching confusion and not being able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. How do I move forward from this? How does this move me closer? Because right now all you're seeing is like being held back. The Hanged Man again being held back, it's kind of like a retrograde almost. You feel like you were moving forward towards something, you were really like on the right path, and suddenly we have a diversion. Suddenly we're forced into this do or die mode. And now the cup we wanted was emptied, and now we're given something new that we aren't content with, that we aren't happy about. And we vacillate back and forth between anger, like extreme anger and extreme sadness. I feel like there's so much in between there. I also feel like there could be something here for you, but there's a need to mourn. Definitely a need to mourn the loss before you'll be able to see the divine's hand at play in this situation for you. So, I mean, this being the overarching lesson is that you are still abundant, even though this is a huge setback for you, and it's going to be hard. This road particularly is going to be hard to travel and feel abundant on when you're starting from scratch. Especially if this is about your internal sense of abundance. I do think this Ace of Swords is here to confirm that you did make the right choice. It was like, I feel like this Ace of Swords is symbolic of a choice out of necessity. And sometimes we can feel really forced in our hand when we have to make a choice of necessity. But even though we have all this internal conflict with the Star in reverse and the Hermit in reverse, it was still beneficial. And right now, especially if it feels like, this starting from scratch place, you still have the skill set and that experience in that old career if you wish to or are able to return to it. It's not totally gone. But right now, this diversion, as much as, especially I feel like for a lot of people, if this reading is timely for you, in this pandemic, it's felt like such a huge diversion of what our plans are, but sometimes the divine knows that we need to do that. And we don't see the bigger picture. We don't see how all of this fits together. I also see the Three of Cups upright as a confirmation that you made the right choice for the collective, for your tribe, your group. Even though you feel individually sacrificed in it. But I feel like there's definitely this sense of being stretched. The Temperance, especially with this Page of Wands here, indicates a lot of, think of it really feels like you are the sword being tempered, going from, a flaming forge and being, what's the word? I guess like on the anvil, and then, plunged into cold water and becoming stronger and less brittle. Especially Temperance is a Sagittarian energy, which is mutable and able to stretch and flex and go from these tiny embers to a roaring forest fire. I feel like right now you just feel like tiny embers and not feeling very optimistic. But all like that's I think if anything, even if this feels like an ultimate diversion and just such a shift in the fortune, like I would not be surprised if a Wheel of Fortune came out, but if there's such a shift in the fortune, it really is just, it can at least show you what you're capable of. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out. That one does. Oof. I got a peek of that. There's a lot of cards, I know. But the Three of Swords, I think, especially being right on top of this Five of Swords, is really about healing from the wound, the emotional wound. I know that, especially because you had to make this choice out of logic, from a place of pragmatism, it kind of feels like that overrides your heart, or where your heart is. But if anything, this is an incredibly generous act on your part. Because I feel like a King of Wands is very much this generous, giving, willing to do what's right by the people. If you are in this King of Wands energy, if you were, especially if this is about being the breadwinner, it's just this very giving generousness on your part to keep the people you care about and you love like safe and happy. Especially like in some cases there may not have been like a choice to leave. You were forced to leave because of circumstances. And there was really only one real choice, and it was almost like a violent one. Like a bitter battle. I do see that because of it being upright, there's a sense of victory. You were able to make it work. You're just extremely dissatisfied and unhappy with it. A sense of depression covers the Four of Cups. There is a need to... I feel like, especially with the Hanged Man here, there's a need to accept what is. The Hanged Man... and a need to change your perspective about what's happening. Because right now, there is a sense of victim complex around this. A sense of victimhood. And I'm not going to say to you that this isn't unfair and that this isn't a difficult thing to go through. But the more you see yourself as just a victim, then the less you can even get out of this experience, or the slower you will be able to move out of this Hanged Man's place. Because the Hanged Man chooses to be hung. He chooses to be hung and held upside down in suspense to get a different perspective. And as much as you feel like this wasn't a choice, you do have a choice in how you see it. I just see... I see a need to take time to get in touch with inner wisdom so you can actually find the light, because I see these two lights here, the star here and then the lantern as analogous. You find the star inside of yourself before you'll ever find the light at the end of the tunnel for yourself. Okay. I think that's good for now. That was a lot of cards. I'm trying this new thing to see if I can show you the cards while I'm reading them so you can see the imagery I'm pulling from and come to your own conclusions and develop a relationship. Especially if you already have a relationship with tarot, I'm thinking that things will come through the cards that you'll be able to see. But we're gonna pull from the animal medicine. I may need to get the book, the companion book for this. Alligator, yeah. Oh, actually, interesting. Sorry. I'll need to pull from the book a little bit here. My crown is tingling. But if you are enjoying my readings, if you enjoy me as a reader and you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you can get notified when I post. If you'd like to exchange energy for this reading, if this reading was for you, please leave a like. That would be absolutely wonderful. And I'd love to discuss more about this reading with you, or just, hear what you have to say about it in the comments. It is interesting reading for a collective and to a camera. I'm used to reading for people. So getting to interface with you in the comments is really a treat. And if you are interested in personal readings, I have information in the description for you. You can go to my website, friendlymystic.com, and get more information about that, or you can email me hit me up at friendlymystic.com. That's also in the description, but we have the alligator and the butterfly. This is a 50 breaking down to a 5. Butterfly is a 9. Now, the butterfly in reverse gives me cocoon vibes. It just screams. I like to think of an animal. If I think of the hanged man as an animal, or an animal medicine, or a natural phenomena, I think of the cocoon. I think of the chrysalis, being in suspense, upside down, waiting in transformation, where it seems like you're in this space of idleness. Actually, a lot of transformation is happening, and as much as you feel like you're having to start over, feeling like you had already transformed and peaked, feeling like you're being brought back down, the butterfly is saying that there is another level of transformation, and regeneration available to you if you accept becoming the caterpillar and the cocoon once more, which is again that page energy, becoming new again. And then the alligator, I think of the death rolls an alligator is able to do is just rolling with the punches. And in the reverse, I feel like just this sense of not being able to roll with the punches. There's a level of the level of victimhood. It's okay to mourn what you lost, but the more you get stuck in victim mentality, the more of a victim you become to circumstances. You end up relinquishing your agency when you do that. So the alligator is a great medicine for being able to be in the throes of something, to really roll with the punches, to just being able to take things and roll. I think of the alligator's death roll when they grip an enemy, or not an enemy, but they grip prey and they roll violently. I will pull the book really quick for that one. That's a 50. So integration. Contrary alligator often signals a time to laugh in the face of conflict in order to survive. If gator's belly is floating exposed on top of the water, it could mean that rash actions or thoughtless words have put you in jeopardy. Gator's treacherous jaws warn you not to fall prey to quick fix solutions or schemes. If contrary, gator's bite has severed an artery that fed you life force, a band-aid will not cure your presentation or current situation. Integrate stable long-term solutions and options. If you have become inflexible, judgmental, detached from the muddied thinking or clouded feelings that have imprisoned your progress, in all cases, Gator reminds you to scan more than the surface, integrating all possibilities, potential risks, unexpected outcomes, and ultimate rewards. If you integrate all these viewpoints, it becomes easier to roll over and come out on top. So, I think the biggest point from that is really integrating all viewpoints and seeing possibility in everything. And right now with alligator up in reverse, we aren't seeing the possibility in this new situation. We are just seeing the blockages. We're just seeing what's stopping us. We're only seeing the unhappiness it's brought us. We're only seeing ourselves as lost. But with some time, with grieving and letting go and accepting what is right now, we can stay in this hanged man position and actually learn a lot. And it may lead you somewhere that you would never have thought of going otherwise, and is more bountiful or more even just beneficial to you spiritually. Maybe the financial recovery is slow, or you don't make as much as you used to, but spiritually you've gained so much from it. I think overall, though, you will be able to provide and help, or keep a amount of stability with these 4 cups here, in the family, in your home. And it's also okay, I'm not sure where this is coming from, but it's also okay to ask for help, because you might not be so good at that, Taurus. But anyway, I hope that reading was helpful for you, Taurus. I know this was a difficult time. It's been difficult for all of us, but with Uranus in your house, or with Uranus and Taurus, a lot of the things you relied on and depended on are now suddenly out the window, and that's tough for a fixed sign. But yeah, I hope you can stay happy and healthy. Bless.